Okay, recording this video after close of trade Wednesday, 20th of July 2011, just rushing a little bit to get this video out. Talking of which, the videos have been coming out a little bit late recently. Just please bear in mind, just for the time being, I'm based in Sydney, trading out of Sydney, and you know, that's a really awkward trading time to trade the US markets, so it means I have to get up first thing in the morning and after trading, you know, through part of the night, and put a video together and get it out by my cutoff time. Sometimes I make it and sometimes I don't, and so that's why you're getting kind of emails later. Things should get better. We're going to be back in France in September, and so that's a better kind of trading regime. Also got a really nice email from Nancy. Hi Barry, another one shot one kill day. I mean, those are great to hear about. I love hearing about one shot one kills. I've been doing stupid trades lately, plus holding positions overnight. I am so struck on a crashing market, I hope that's not my influence, that I became blinded with greed and catching the whole move. I've taken profits but lost sleep. Of course, after I closed out my short on Friday, the markets were off, but I finally had a restful weekend and realized again that sticking to a profit target is the best way. Slow and steady, took 5 points a day, shut down TradeStation. Thanks again for your inside indicators, discipline and devotion to trading. That's nice to hear, Nancy. Yeah, big fan of profit targets. Just talking about today's activity, because you know, one of these days we'll get one of those kind of crashes, and I don't want to miss the big short again. So here was today's activity. Really lackluster, very slow, low volume day, kind of just hung around very tight range at the highs. I mean, we could be kind of heading back up through resistance into a strong uptrend on the daily time frame. For me, the jury's still out, still got this kind of in the background. Please be aware, this is what happened today. We had a no demand day. So, you know, when we've been testing these highs, the first time we kind of come in a whole series of patterns, you know, profit taking by the professionals, stopping volume, no demand, Rambo patterns here. You know, we kind of come back to test again, Rambo patterns here. The next time we push to new highs, and again, all the professionals step in, profit taking, stopping volume, and so on. And then this move on the downside got stopped here with you know, stopping volume patterns. We shot back up almost to the record highs, Rambo patterns right at the high, and now, you know, we're trying to test these highs, and we come up today against a no demand pattern. So you know, tomorrow is going to be really interesting. I know we've got all this kind of news releases in Europe. We've got all the debt ceiling stuff. We've got all the earnings announcements kind of coming out. A lot of people trying to decide which way this is going to go. And frankly, I don't think anybody knows. It's like, you know, everybody's trying to get positioned for this next move, and whether it's going to be a bull move or a bear move in equities. But this is, you know, it's come at the right place if we kind of retest the lows. So tomorrow's activity is going to kind of be key. Just watching kind of for breaks of today's lows to or significant breaks of today's lows to signal that, you know, we're heading back down in this direction. But you know, we talk about the bonds and interest rates here. So just brought up the 5, 10 and 30-year interest rates, and I actually find it quite handy to put better sine wave on these interest rates. This is the 10-year, because you know, you can see swings in interest rates here, and we've just had on 10-year an end of trend warning signal in terms of rates, which could potentially mean that we're going to get an increase in rates, which means the bond market's going to be off. This is the 5-year, again, end of trend warning on interest rates down here at 1.47, and then here's the 30-year. It's not an end of trend here, but it's a cyclical support area here. So you know, monthly charts on interest rates are still showing a downswing, which means the bond market is still up. You know, the reason why you might have a sell-off in the bond market is because, you know, the debt ceiling means lack of kind of confidence in the U.S. government and U.S. bonds, and then it also means that the money could potentially flow into equities, out of bonds and into equities, which not my kind of deflationary type scenario. So I'm watching that, and then when we look at today's activity with this no demand pattern, just saying, you know, the equities market tends to be leading the way directionally. So I'm still in two minds. I'm not trying to call it either way. I'm just seeing evidence, you know, to support both kind of moves. But this was interesting. So, you know, don't necessarily believe that we've got a gangbuster bull market on in equities. I think a lot of people after yesterday's or Tuesday's rally in the stock market would like to suggest that that's on the cards, but I'm not so convinced. Anyway, okay, I'm going to tag on my day trades. It's actually a good day trading for me, just trading the swings on the 1500 tip bar chart when they kind of work with professional bars and momentum. We can see we had a break here first thing. So we were kind of weak pre-open. We kind of maxed out here with all these blue professional bars and broken below cyclical support on the 1500 tip bar chart. The first kind of icebreaker point kind of came here. This is the first blue professional bar really after the open, and the low of that bar gets broken, so we're in a little bit of a downswing here. I was crazy. I jumped out after only 2.5 points. There was easily another 4 points, but there was an end of trend on the 500 tip bar chart that I jumped out at, so kind of just got out at 23.5 instead of riding this thing all the way down. But anyway, here's the professionals kind of step back in. Bullish divergence at this point. We rally back to a pullback level. This was kind of full of Rambo patterns and amateur up bars at this point here, and we kind of came back down. So took a short trade here. This ended with an end of trend, exhaustion selling blue professional bars, and kind of rode it up at this point here. This move actually turned out to be kind of almost like a double top here. We tested again with a Rambo pattern up here after all these blue professional bars and sold off again, testing this low here. But you can see that's when the professionals kind of came back in. We had all of these bullish divergence patterns here. Amateur bars kind of some of these a little bit confused up and down, and then we kind of went up a little bit after that. Anyway, so I'll tag on those day trades just as I said, and just be aware that today was a no demand day, so just interesting to see what happens on Thursday. Hope you traded well. Got short 26 even. Just checking my stops and targets. And reason for going short, we're below cyclical support on both the 500 and the 1500 tip bar chart. Got a couple of blue bars at the open, but not worried about that necessarily. End of trend on the 500 tip bar chart. Okay, maybe it's going to catch here with kind of flush blue professional bars kind of coming in and bouncing off this end of trend resistance becomes support. Just wait and see. Still below this one here, so there's a chance. Okay, this will be a icebreaker trade, kind of whichever way it goes. So let's watch this to reverse. Good, that icebreaker trade here, it's kind of worked out to the downside, so we didn't need to reverse and go along the break above the high of that blue professional bar. So come into a bit of exhaustion selling at the moment, but we are below cyclical support here. The next kind of place to catch this on the way down would be cross on the 4500 tip bar chart. Anyway, so still short 26 even. A couple of minutes later, just kind of broke down to 24. Exhaustion selling on the downside, kind of Rambo pattern here, but we need to pull back at end of trend before this turns around, or maybe kind of hit some support area here. So still holding short. A couple of minutes later, just sitting on a little bit of a retrace back up 25.5, but it's a pullback and a downtrend on the 500 tip bar chart and a Rambo pattern here. It's quite like that, where it's just showing the amateurs there kind of trying to buy a breakout above 25, thinking the bottom's in. Then we get a kind of strong move back down to form an end of trend, so hopefully we'll break 24 and form the end of trend kind of close to target at 22. That'll be nice. Out of 23.50 for 2.5. It's kind of okay. Reason for getting out, we've got bullish divergence coming on the 500 tip bar chart. Just had end of trend signal, blue professional bar kind of come in here. Nothing on the 1500 tip bar chart yet. So, and we've got a cyclical turn happening on the 45, and that kind of blue professional bars kind of come in here. So potentially it's an area where we might start to reverse. Pick up a little bit more, but it doesn't look like it's going to make it down to 22. Okay, so short 26 out at 23.50 for 2.5. Okay, so this is where I'm absolutely kicking myself, because we easily got to 22, and then the blue professional bars kind of coming at that level. So I should just been holding through this move. It was a good entry. and should just held all the way through this end of trend on the 500 tip bar chart. Another blue professional bar kind of coming on the 4500 tip bar chart here. Done. Feels stupid. Would have been out with 4 for a one shot, one kill. Anyway, see what it sets up. We got existing home sales coming out at 9 AM. So things will probably just go quiet prior to that. But let's see if there's a setup that happens around then. Yeah, just in along 22.25. And a little bit jittery at the moment. Got existing home sales numbers kind of came out. Initially kind of sold off. This was like a pullback. Didn't quite make the end of trend, but we got a cyclical support here come in. So exhaustion selling on the 15, bullish divergence patterns here, and cyclical turn come in on the 45. So we've now got kind of blue professional bars down at the lows, kind of here and here, getting in hopefully. And a couple of end of trend warning patterns in a row on the 500. So hopefully we'll get a little bit to the upside. Next point of resistance will be when we get a cyclical cross and resistance on the 1500 tip bar chart. So let's see if this runs a little. Just along 22.25. Okay, a few minutes later we've kind of moved into 24s, which is good. The pullback level is just coming on the 1500 tip bar chart, which really is kind of the first type of target. But I'm just going to wait and see if a blue professional bar kind of comes up about 2 points ahead here, which is nice. But just hoping for a little bit more on a blue professional bar maybe to come in here. So let's wait and see. 25. So just for one, shame about that. Another blue professional bar came in on the 500 tip bar chart. Just think we're going to test back down until we get end of trend on the 1500 tip bar chart, then some kind of bullish divergence. So maybe on this way down we'll see a blue professional bar kind of coming in. That'll signal to go long. So there's an extra 1 there. Could have been 2, but couldn't get out at 24. I'm short 22.50, and just looking at this, thinking this downside is not over yet. 4500 tip bar chart, we had our exhaustion buying yesterday into end of trend. Don't know, I mean, are we going to get exhaustion buying on the upside here on the 45, or is this all over? Just think, this is a good place to go see this move down if we kind of keep on going. So short at 22.50. Hopefully we'll break through this cyclical support on the 500 there, bang, good, into trend move, kind of moving into a pullback and end of trend. So there we go, just short 22.50. Let's see where this goes. You've just gone through the previous low for the day, was at 20.50. We just hit 20.25. Exhaustion selling, blue professional bar moving fast. Target's at 18.5, but I might jump out shortly if I get a pro signal exit. Let's see. No, just out at 20.25. The pro signal exit kind of came in there. I could have been out at like 19 3/4, 19.5 maybe. But just as soon as I hit it, just kind of ticked up to 20.25. That's okay though. What is that? Yeah, it's 2 1/4, another 2 1/4. So which gives me 5 3/4, which ain't bad. And that's 3 trades, and I'm glad I took that trade, because that's that actually happened really quickly, and that was kind of a good trade to take. Anyway, I'm rambling, just looking at my numbers here. So that was quite good, happy with that. Now all these blue professional bars have come in on the 500, and it's really starting to tick back up. There we go. End of trend on the 1500 tip bar chart. See if that's, kind of maybe coinciding. 13,500 tip bar chart with cyclical support here. Probably kind of take another pass down to it because we had the exhaustion selling so early in the piece, getting this thing kind of going. This exhaustion selling here, it's probably not the end of the story. We're probably going to need a second cyclical turn after that end of trend to give us a decent bullish divergence, and that'll probably coincide with that point there. So the next point to get short would be on the next cyclical turn down on 15. So it's only 9:20 a.m. Just gone midnight 20 in Sydney, so I'm just going to watch this for a while, see if there's amateur up bars going this way. So that means it's kind of an unstable move up. So let's see if there's an opportunity to get short again. Although happy with my 5 3/4, so we'll see. Along 21.75, and the reason for doing this, I think we're heading up to this cyclical resistance on 1500 tip bar chart here. This little push down was just a blue professional bar, kind of came in, didn't break the lows, broke the high of that, and looks like we're just going to kind of push on through resistance here until we get that point there. Then I think we'll test back down, but I think it's worth just seeing if there's a point or so in it on the way up. So just long 21.75 at 23.75 for another 2, which is great, and that gets me up to 7 3/4 after 4 trades. And the reason for getting out there was, well, we certainly had blue professional bars coming on the 500. I was getting out just as this blue professional bar was coming in on the 15. Got a cyclical turn kind of going to happen sometime here. So, this is a good place to kind of get out. I'm not going to take another trade. That was 4 in a row, and I'll just balls it up on the next one, I know. So I'll go to bed and call that quits for the day, but that was quite nice. So just following the blue professional bars on the 1500 tip bar chart, really. Kind of getting short at the open here, picking off 2.5 on the way down. Didn't get the lows because I didn't hang around for this blue professional bar coming in right here, which was dumb. So there was a 4 there and only got 2.5. Took out 1 in this little retrace here. 2 1/4 on this move and 2 on this move. The entries on this move down, on this move up were not great. This one was taken about here at about 22.50, and this one was taken on this little retrace when we saw a blue professional bar kind of come in here, 21.75. So even with imperfect entries and imperfect exits, with what is that kind of top to bottom, today's range has been, looks like about 8 points so far. I've got 7 3/4 points out of it, so happy with that. Hope you traded well today.